We've got an exciting show lined up, so let's keep it going with Corporate Voices. And Kapish Jain is the CFO at IIFL Finance, joining in to talk a little bit more about what the outlook is when it comes to their quarterly numbers, as well as the roadmap for growth. Kapish, thanks so much for taking time out. Let's begin by talking about your profit, because that's been lower by nearly 6% year on year. To what extent do you think the RBI's restriction on the gold business have weighed on your overall profits? And would you now say that those issues are resolved and by Q1 FY25 we can see an uptick?
RBI embargo came on 4th of March. And March, as you would know, is a time where everybody pushes the paddle from a business disbursement perspective. All the momentum, growth is being put across. And given that we had an embargo for a business which is fairly prominent for us, we had to just cut down everything. The book shrank. When the book shrinks, you also have a revenue which goes away for you. But the team and resources, everybody stays. So therefore, there's a cost which stays back with you. There is some degree of assets which actually had a tenor expiry, but we couldn't roll them over because we're not allowed to disburse. So that also caused some bucket movement on those assets, which caused for us to provide an additional provision of around 100 odd crore. So all those actually translated into a lower PAT this quarter compared to what we reported in the past. From a Q1 perspective, it is extremely difficult to anticipate because one is, by when does the embargo goes away? That's a big question mark. While other businesses are operating fine, this business, how it runs down, is something that we will see by the end of the quarter to anticipate what's the blip that's going to see on the P&L. But I like what Nirmal mentioned in his mandate, in his release as well. The impact is there, and the impact is expected to be there in Q1 as well.
Right. Your ROAs have significantly dipped from 3.6 to now 2.9%. Asset quality also has slipped sequentially too. When is it that we can expect a recovery on these fronts? Because I guess key to watch is going to be when RBI pulls the embargo.
The key question is, when does the embargo goes away? Okay. Now coming on the asset quality, dip increase is more temporary. As I mentioned, there are certain cases of tenor rollover which we couldn't do because of embargo on disbursements. But then the team is working on finding a potential exit for these customers, because it doesn't have a P&L impact. It's just that I need to provide for it. Otherwise, there's adequate security available. These are gold loan customers. There's a gold asset available to you. The LTV doesn't go beyond 65-70%. So there's enough margin available. It's a liquid asset, so you can always redeem through the auction process or by customer paying. So it's more of a P&L impact that comes in. But going forward, we're going to work collectively as a team to control that part of that book, which can potentially slip because I can't roll over or disburse. That's precisely on the asset quality. On the ROA, our stated ROA has been around 3.5%. It was 3.8% for 9 months. It slipped around 3.4 for full year because of the embargo and what I explained earlier with regard to impact on the overall revenue. It is difficult actually to foresee how we see that shaping in the next few quarters, because a big question mark here would be, when does the embargo goes away? The sooner it goes away, the impact would be minimal and lesser. The longer it stays, the impact can be a little higher.
Kapish, let's just talk about the latest on your gold loan business. Now, the special audit via the RBI has now come to an end. Could you give us a bit more of a sense on what's happening on that front? Is it safe to say that all the RBI concerns have been allayed and all the regulatory issues are now in the past? Is the overhang of the gold loan business? And by when do you expect the embargo to be lifted?
It's $1 million question, and difficult for me to anticipate or even comment on when does the embargo goes away. We can do what's in our hand. So if you see our presentation, we have categorically mentioned that we have addressed in the best possible manner all the queries that came in through the RBI order and the report which was submitted both in spirit and in paper as well. And we are ready to go to the new normal as our business commences. Auction process is already in line with the regulatory requirement which was not aligned to what we were doing earlier, and now we are completely following what the regulations suggest. So that way we are completely ready. Our readiness exists. The special audit on the ground has got concluded, and I would believe that they would have submitted their report to RBI as well. With that submission happening and RBI being an organization which has been fairly diligent, proactive, and efficient, they should be able to act on it sooner and to maybe to address any further query that they might have on us, and subsequent to that, work towards getting the embargo released. From a timeline perspective, extremely difficult to anticipate, and hope it happens sooner than later.
All right, Kapish, thanks so much for joining in and sharing with us those insights. And on that note then,
if you like this video, then like, share and subscribe to ET Now.